Hello, and welcome to the Alberta Reformer Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Hildebrand. The Alberta Reformer Podcast is your go-to source for building a robust Christian culture in Alberta. We're here to equip you with the theological and practical tools needed to follow Christ in all of life. Our episodes will come in a variety of formats, featuring interviews with Christian leaders, readings of our articles, and in-depth discussions on today's most pressing cultural and political issues. Join us as we cultivate a hopeful and biblical vision for our province, tackle the issues facing Albertans, and work towards a faithful future for generations to come. Before we dive into today's article reading, I wanted to share a few updates. First, please be praying for the United Conservative Party AGM this weekend in Edmonton. We will be hosting an exhibitor booth there and look forward to connecting with Christians in attendance, as well as sharing the gospel and having good discussion with those who don't yet know Christ. So please pray for open doors and that Christ would draw many to himself. Also be praying for all those running for the board of directors, that godly leadership would be elected to this party, and that the policies, governance resolutions that are passed would work towards more human flourishing in our province. There's also some important resolutions when it comes to pro-life policies, and so pray that those would be passed. Second, we are excited to announce the launch of Reformer Students. It's a new initiative raising a banner for truth on campus. The Lord's been bringing together a team of existing students and past students and others with certain skill sets in apologetics and training and different things. And we're going to be working to raise a banner that students can unite behind to stand for truth. So we're going to be having engagement tables to connect with existing Christians and kind of challenge some of the ideologies that are out there. We're going to be doing rigorous discipleship and training for students. And we're also going to be having educational forums and debates, Lord willing. And so we're going to be launching at least on UFC and Mount Royal here in January, and then Lord willing expanding to Edmonton and Lethbridge going forward. And so if you are a student in Alberta, visit albertareformer.ca/students right now. You can pause this podcast and go to albertareformer.ca/students to join the movement. You can sign up, and there's a survey that you can take there that'll help us have more input into where you're at and how you can get involved. And even if you're not a student, you can go there to sign up and receive the newsletter so that you know how you can pray for this new initiative. And also make sure to share the word with any students you know. That's albertareformer.ca/students. So join the movement. And now we will have a reading from our latest article, which is very relevant, especially if you live in southern Alberta, as we just got a dump of snow. This article is titled, "Oh No, More Snow. How Alberta Christians Can Think Wisely About Winter." It's written by Sean McCausland and is published today, November 25th, 2025. It may be that you are a faithful worker and family person. You carry out your responsibilities, possibly even going above and beyond the call of duty, and you are generally viewed as someone of integrity. Yet imagine how the impact of these qualities could be reduced when words like these come out of your mouth. I can't wait for spring. I hate this time of year. I wish we had rain. At least you don't have to shovel it. Or, I don't live in BC like you. At least you guys get 3 months of cold. We get 6. Now, far be it from me to advocate a gleeful, ignorant, head-in-the-sand view about Alberta winters. They can be harsh. How many of us look forward to more dangerous driving conditions? Greater possibilities of getting hurt by slipping on ice patches while walking. The danger of getting frostbite. Persevering through days where we get up and go to work with no light outside and return home in the same darkness. Incurring many expenses for winterizing our clothing and vehicles. Did C.S. Lewis have a point when he imagined the land of Narnia as, quote, always winter, to describe its cursed state? When thinking of suffering, we tend to focus on the worst kinds, whether we've experienced them yet or not. Persecution, serious illness, death, or the loss of loved ones. But it should assure us when James says that various kinds of experiences can be trials for us. It's James chapter 1, verse 2. Neither he nor other biblical authors seem to indicate that our lives' circumstances must meet an objective level of severity before we can call them painful. And yet, in the midst of all such hardships, James tells us to count it all joy. So just how can we do this when faced with freezing temperatures and unpleasant conditions outside? First, let us consider the positive qualities of winter that we all too easily forget. One example is the joy on kids' faces at the opportunity to play in the snow. Sure, children and youth know little of the cost associated with winter for adults, but have we lost their sense of wonder and enthusiasm over the white stuff? Another thing we tend to overlook is how the sun's reflection off the snow makes everything brighter, not only outside, but inside our homes too. We also must remember that snow is precipitation. We need water, no matter how it's delivered to us. Finally, what about the opportunities afforded by winter for us to discover human creativity through the making and display of ice sculptures, or to behold the beauty and limitless creativity of the King of Kings when we discover through a microscopic view that no two snowflakes are the same? Second, let us reflect on provisions we can be thankful for, even when winter is tough. Besides appreciating and using products that have been around for decades, like winter tires and car window scrapers, we can express gratitude for increasingly advanced technologies in clothing, home insulation, and interior vehicle heating, all of which serve to keep the cold at bay. Also, we need to think about the fact that the Lord, in His transcendence, stands outside our experiences of physical darkness. Since He is completely unperturbed by them, they have no way of hindering His good purposes for us. Quote, "If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you." Psalm 139, verses 11 to 12. And how often do we give thought to the comforts of fireplaces, hot food, and warm beverages? Quote, "God richly provides us with everything to enjoy." 1 Timothy 6:17. Third, bear in mind that since winter experiences can be counted among our trials, they are part of God's fatherly discipline towards His children. No experience of hardship, however minor or otherwise, is ever wasted, but used by the Lord in molding us into the image of His Son and intending to prepare us for the new heaven and earth. Quote, "He, God, disciplines us for our good, that we may share His holiness." Hebrews 12:10. And, what sort of people ought you to be in lives of holiness and godliness, waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God? According to His promise, we are waiting for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. 2 Peter 3, verses 11 to 13. Finally, consider how winter points us to God and the gospel. For example, when we think of a home as our winter fortress, we can be reminded of the ultimate fortress and refuge that God is to us. 2 Samuel 22, verses 2 to 3, Psalm 46, 1 to 3, or Proverbs 18:10. What's more, the whiteness of snow can help us remember the purification of sin-stained hearts that God achieves for all who trust in His Son and the work He achieved on the cross. Isaiah 1, verse 18, Titus 2, verse 14. Recently, a Bible discussion group I've been leading at my church wrapped up a study on Paul's letter to the Colossians. Among many other things we observed that the apostle mentions the importance of giving thanks no fewer than 6 times. Twice in chapter 1, once in chapter 2, twice in chapter 3, and also in chapter 4. Far from being a once-a-year practice we are asked to celebrate in Canada every second Monday in October, Thanksgiving must be something that permeates the Christian life. As we reflect on the good things the Lord provides for us through winter, we can learn to grow in gratitude as we see the flurries fall and the thermometer drop. Thanks for listening to the Alberta Reformer Podcast. Our vision is a flourishing Alberta where the truth of the gospel shapes our homes, our communities, and our public life. If this episode was helpful, please share it with a friend who needs to hear it. To join us in this vital work, visit albertareformer.ca. There you can read more from our journal, subscribe to our newsletter, and partner with us financially. Your support is what makes this mission possible. Until next time, let's be faithful in seeking the good of our province for the glory of God.